All right, we're live. What is up? It's been a while since I used this thumb and playlist. I thought it'd be cool to talk about this topic of social credit scores because some of you know what they are, some of you don't know what they are. Some may have already seen the writing on the walls, and I think most of you probably haven't, if I'm being honest. So yeah, let's get into this. While you guys are kind of rolling in here, let me make my second morning coffee. I'm trying out this new protein coffee. I don't know if that'll focus. Will that focus? I don't know. Anyway, it's protein coffee, 20 grams of protein. You mix it in with your, actually it's already mixed in coffee. Oh, and it's not even, looks like it's already whitened somewhat. Anyway, let's see what this stuff tastes like. All right, how's everybody doing this morning? Hey, what's up, Conk? Iced coffee with protein in it. Oh yeah, that gets a thumbs up. That's an approval. By the way, those of you guys that are asking about these mugs with my mug on it, they're in the store. You can grab them there. All right, let's hop into it. So I've got a couple of pages lined up that I want to show you. If you guys could do me a solid and hit the like button, just helps me out with the algorithms. And if you are watching elsewhere, come join us on the YouTubes. Just click this link, and when you get over to YouTube, just hit the like button. That helps me out a ton. Thank you very much. All right, so the other day, one of the guys from my community posted this video. Can I add this to stream? Yeah. From Coach Red Pill, Gonzalo. Title is Leave Now While You Can. I'm not going to play it. You guys can go watch it. It's pretty bleak. There's some conversation around it, and basically the TLDR version of it was get the hell out. Things are going to go downhill fast, and if you're not out by, I think he said, the spring, you're going to be all wrapped up in a war with China. I don't think North America is going to go anywhere near a war with China, personally. They're going to lose. It's just a matter of fact, man. You know, you take a look at the numbers. They're not going to pick a fight with China. If China wants Taiwan, I think the West is going to let them have it, you know, if I'm being honest. I like Gonzalo, and we've talked a few times online and even offline in the last couple of years. So you can go watch that if you want to get a little more frame around that. But yeah, so I was thinking about doing this video for a while now, and there's a tweet that Elon Musk put out the other day. Actually, yeah, here, I'll show you that first. So Elon has this FSD Beta coming out, which stands for full self-driving for Tesla cars. I guess that's the code for it. It rolls out Friday midnight to approximately 1,000 owners with a perfect 100 out of 100 safety scores on their driving. Now, this doesn't make a lot of sense to me because if it's fully automatic driving, why does your driving skills have anything to do with what the automatic or the autopilot's going to do? If the autopilot has the capacity to drive better than humans, which it arguably should, any faults you have in your driving shouldn't matter. But they're only giving the rollout to people that have perfect safety scores as the Tesla car tracks it as you're driving it. It says there, rollouts will hold for several days, and after that, see how it goes. If that looks good, beta will gradually begin rolling out to the 99 scores and below. Now, some of you might think, well, it doesn't really matter. That's insignificant, blah, 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 blah. But last week, I don't know if you guys already know I'm a car guy, as per the title of the channel. So I'm not watching crap on YouTube about how to get the girls. I already know that. My YouTube viewing probably consists mostly of stuff around cars and sailing and a few other, you know, like be better sort of notions. And this guy Brock has this YouTube channel called Drag Times. Good dude. I'd probably like to get him on at some point for a Playing to Win episode. But over here, I watched this video that says, will Tesla say I'm a bad driver? Will I get the full, and what does it say after that? Full self-driving I paid $10,000 for. So he paid $10,000 for an option which he can't get. So follow me on this. Okay, this is the logic of what this whole social credit system is going to look like. You pay 10 grand as an option for something he can't get. I'm not going to play the video. You guys can go watch it if you want. It's on his channel. But the end result of it was he got a 5 out of 100 score driving the car. As you can see by the cover photo, he's got quite a few fast cars, and by the name of the channel, he does a lot of drag racing on it. You know, just check out the quarter-mile speeds and you know, half miles and 0-60s and stuff like that. But he could not. He's definitely not going to get the beta rollout of this full self-driving from Tesla because he won't qualify because of his driving. It takes factors into consideration like acceleration, cornering speed, follow distance, and a bunch of other stuff. Again, if you guys want to know what all the details are, you can go look that up. But it basically takes into consideration how you drive right now. And then it says, okay, well, if you're a 100 out of 100 score, then we're going to give you the software update that you paid for. If you're not, then you don't get the software update until we feel like giving it to you. So that's how things are starting to roll out, huh? You're paying for shit that you cannot get or take advantage of. So I watched this other video that followed up after it over here, and it says it's okay to speed and run red lights. So it doesn't take into account your speed versus the speed limit. It doesn't take into account if you go through a red light. But he says, but turns and braking are the problem. So it tracks your, you know, I'm assuming there's some sort of accelerometer in the car that tracks your G-forces. And if you're going around a corner, I think he said more than 0.4 Gs, then you're not a good driver and it's going to lower your score. Cars like this, I mean, most cars like my McLaren will probably pull like 1.05, maybe 1.1 Gs, you know, depending on the tires I have in the car and the surface, but they can pull a lot of Gs very, like, they're glued to the road, especially if you have aero and all that sort of stuff. So they've decided unilaterally, pay for this software update, but we're only going to give it to you if your driving is good, even though your driving should have no relevance whatsoever on full self-driving because the car technically should be able to drive itself. You're seeing how this is starting to roll out, right? You know, you're paying for stuff that you're not getting access to. They're only giving you access if you have a certain score. Now, some of my haters and critics might say something along the lines, well, good, because we don't want people driving fast and stuff like that and blah, 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 blah. Well, let me introduce a few more things for you guys to consider. Try to make these a little bit bigger so you can see them. So I don't know who this guy is, but I had this tweet forwarded to me the other day. He says, the year is 2031, so 10 years from now. Your electric car locked you out because you reached your driving limit. Okay? That's something that might show up on a social credit score tracking, you know, mechanism. Maybe you've got a limit of a certain number of kilometers or miles you can drive every single month. You've reached that limit. You can now no longer use that car. You walk to a store to buy your food. The steak you want to buy gets denied because you've reached your CO2 limit. You walk home with a bag of bugs and fake soy meat. And the vegans right now are laughing, going, ha ha, that's good. So let's roll out social credit. Wrong. What happens if social credit encompasses everything, which it will? It's not just going to be, you know, car guys or people that like meat or anything like that that's, you know, tied into that side of the equation. Let's go to the other side of the equation. Let's go to the soy guys. Let's go to the vegans. And let's, because we're all in this together, guys. This is not an us versus them thing when it comes to society. This is an us, meaning society itself, versus the state thing. We're the us, the state is them, okay? You go to the grocery store and you want to buy, I don't know, your soy latte mixed beverage, whatever the hell it is, or you want to buy your Soylent drinks or whatever it is that you're drinking, or your bag of veggies or whatever. Let's say that you're buying certain things that would affect your CO2 limit. We know that they mostly grow soy in the Amazon rainforest where they're like basically clearing trees out. That's where most of the soy comes from. So what happens if you reach your limit with that? What happens if it's a far left wing? I've got a few notes here. What happens if it's a far left wing socialist that wants unlimited free abortions? What happens if you reach your limit with that? Just saying, you know, what happens if they're tracking that and they say, nope, sorry, nothing for you this month because you've already had your limit in the last 6 months or something like that, right? Just something to consider. There's an interesting video, which again, I'm not going to play. It's called, I'm just going to add it to the stream and put it up here and kind of play it back at a super fast speed and do a little bit of voiceover for you so you can get an idea of what we're looking at. There's 2 times. So this is on a channel called Your New Social, or sorry, it's by Tom Scott, and it says Your New Social Credit Score. It's buffering now for some reason. I hope that's not a problem with my internet. Anyway, I'm going to pause it because it seems to be a problem playing. But go watch it. It says your new social credit score. And some people thought this was real. Some people actually, started throwing us around the internet saying, "Oh, this is what's coming. This is already out there. This is what they're doing," but they're not. This is a spoof. Okay. The publisher of this particular video pinned a top comment down over here. Where is it? Update on the 13th of April 2021. I've been told that some conspiracy theorists are bizarrely calculating this video as fact. To be clear, this is a speculative fiction from 2018, part of a sci-fi series on the channel, blah, 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 blah. So this is a complete spoof. It is completely, it is not nonfiction, it is fiction. And people are tossing around like it's already happening right now. But the way they break it down, the way it's been broken down, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about when you go watch that, right? Yeah, Conk says, can't wait till they ask for your bench press max before buying your groceries. Conk, what if they say, what if you got to stand on a scale before you buy your groceries, right? And they limit what it is that you can buy because your body mass index is not to their liking. And you're not allowed to buy certain things anymore that might affect your health or your weight. I don't have any problem with that, but there might be some people that have certain food addictions that might have a problem with that, right? This question, again, it's not about a left versus right or us versus them in society. Going down the social credit score route, which is already happening, as I pointed out with what Tesla's doing, is one example. There's thousands more. I'm going to show you a couple more. It's going to create basically 4 classes of people: elites, the sheep, the broken sheep, and the black market. Okay. You have a good score, you've got the money to pay for exemptions, maybe you're going to be in the elite category. That's not me, that's not you, that's not anybody with probably less than $100 million in net worth. You're going to have some serious bank to be in that category. The sheep are all going to be the ones that quietly comply. They will follow everything to the rule. They're the ones that ran right out as soon as the government said, hey, we have an experimental vaccine that hasn't been put through any kind of clinical trials on a long-term basis. Come and take the jab and save your life. And they're like, let's run out. Bah! Those guys. The sheep. There's going to be a lot of sheep, and there's going to be broken sheep who are going to have a low score. Maybe because, I don't know, they shoplifted. Maybe because they were speeding in their car. Maybe because they exceeded their limit of CO2 emissions for the month, and they are no longer allowed to buy certain things or have access to certain things, or maybe leave their house. What happens if you can't leave your house because there's a smart lock on your house because the government has you in, these giant towers, these glass boxes they call condominiums. Sometimes they're also called, housing. They're all the same thing. What happens if they put smart locks on those and you can't leave your house, right? Because you've been a bad boy or a bad girl. Maybe you were protesting, somebody or something, or a president or a corporation. And, God forbid, you're not allowed to go out anymore. You can't leave your house. The smart lock won't let you go out until your score goes higher, until you've done certain things, certain tasks, or wait a certain period of time because your timeout's over, right? What if you go to the store and you were, one of these far lefties that likes dyeing their hair purple, green, or, all those nasty colors, and you can't buy your hair dye because you've exceeded your limit because it does environmental damage, right? What if, right? Okay. It's not just left versus right, center, liberal versus conservative versus libertarian. This is an us versus them thing, meaning it's us versus us as in society versus the state imposing limiting things on us. What if your voting privileges get revoked, right? You can't vote. Entirely possible. All of a sudden, see what you guys continue to overlook that I've been banging on for years now, okay? You want personal freedom. You don't want giant-ass government telling you what to do. You want personal freedom. The problem is, though, is that the government baits people. And the sheep aren't bright enough to see the code in the matrix to see what's going on. I am. I've been looking at the code in the matrix for years now. Most people just say, oh, yeah, they love and care for us. I've lobbied with the government 10, 12 years ago on a bill that was going to make getting out of debt more expensive, limit consumer options, ruin their credit more, and take longer to improve your credit. Okay, there was 4 critical components of the bill that I was talking to the provincial government in Ontario at Queen's Park on. Dealt with the critics. Jagmeet Singh was one of the critics here in Ontario. That guy's a lying POS, lied right to my face. And they don't care about what's good for the consumer. I've watched them firsthand. I've seen the code in the matrix. They only care about themselves and retaining their authority and control. So as long as you keep voting for big government, thinking that free shit's good, let's tax the rich, that popular phrase, hey, you know, you guys want to keep voting for that, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get more of the social credit system. What if you get limits to access to medicine if you have a low score, right? What if you're one of the guys out there, and I'm not pro-vax or anti-vax, I'm pro make a decision for yourself that works, right? I mean, there's certain people that should probably get it and certain people which it just doesn't make a lot of sense. But let's say that you don't take the jabs that they want you to that year, or the boosters that they want you to that year, because you've made a unilateral choice in your own interest to do what's better for you. And then you need medical assistance for something totally unrelated, you know, to any kind of outcome or disease that might come out of it, but you don't get the medical treatment that you're looking for, right? That's what happens with state-run healthcare. That's what happens with social credit systems. You guys are gonna, now, I'm a big fan of blockchain money. Huge fan. I've been talking about it for a while. Cryptocurrency is going to change the world. The blockchain is going to change the world. But the government is already realizing that they're going to have to issue state-issued currency. I don't know what they're going to call it, the Fed coin, the Fed USD coin, the Canadian Fed coin, or whatever it's going to be called. Because it's on the blockchain and you can use smart contracts with it, if you use their currency, they're going to know exactly what you're using the money for. It's not like, you know, you can take cash out of your ATM and you can buy whatever you want with them. They have no idea what you're doing with it. If you're going to be using a blockchain-based currency, which is going to come, right? If people don't adopt things like Bitcoin, Monero, you know, maybe some of the other privacy coins, some of the other DeFi projects that come out, stuff like that. If the masses, if the sheep just go, okay, big government, bah, and just shift over and abandon a currency system that gives them at least some amount of privacy and autonomy, and is permissionless and is censorship resistant. If they go right onto the government system, you know what's going to happen? They're going to know exactly what you buy all the time. You buy too much meat, you buy too much soy, you buy too much of something that's going to rack up a score that's going to throw off your social credit score, you're banned from it. You know, buying certain things might limit your score. Maybe if you buy too much alcohol or too much cigarettes or too much weed or too many condoms, too many Plan Bs, you know, any one of those things could lower your score, right? Just think about it, you know, it's coming. It's already here. It's not even like it's coming. It's already here. Like, hi, Cold Hard Truth Bombs, Bomber Command. Welcome to Rich Cooper's Bomber Command. This is it, guys. This is what is going down. Man, you guys got to think about this stuff. There's a lot going on here. I've got a couple other screens here. Let me see what I missed to put up. Covered the 2031 tweet. You know what? It's entirely feasible that this could be here in the next 10 years. Think about it. You can't drive your car because you reached your driving limit. You can't buy certain food that you want because you reached your CO2 limit because, you know, cows are bad or cow farts are bad or, you know, whatever the narrative is, right? Like you can't do certain things that you can do today, that your dad did, that your granddad did, and, you know, you go back through time because some narrative has deemed that it's bad for the earth. But is it really, right? Like people aren't questioning authority. They're just going along with authority. And what a lot of people miss is most of this authority is generated by state and elites, okay? So you're going to be walking home with a bag of bugs and fake soy meat is pretty much, you know, what could end up happening. There's another post here that obviously I live in Canada. You guys should know that by now. It's posted on the 6th, so a few days ago. But all would-be travelers must be fully vaccinated by October 30th to board planes, trains, or marine vessels leaving Canada. So they're forcing federal public servants, RCMP, air and rail travelers must be vaccinated by month's end. And our wonderful Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, the bastard offspring of Fidel Castro. Just go look up the picture side by side. You guys will see what I'm talking about. Most of you know that one already. You won't be able to leave Canada by a plane, train, or marine vessel unless you're fully vaccinated. So it doesn't even matter if you're a citizen. You could be a foreigner. You could be here on a visa. You could be here on a student visa. You could be in the age demographic somewhere between, I think it's 18 to 25. That's at the highest risk for males for, I think it's called myocarditis, if I'm not mistaken, where you have heart issues because of the mRNA vaccination. There's been quite a lot of cases of it that have hospitalized like tier 1 athletes. that are in that age bracket. It seems to affect males more than females, and you see it kind of rolling out, and you're like, no, I'm just going to pass. I don't really need that. I'm pretty healthy, everything's good. But they're going to force you to do that if you want to leave Canada, right? Like, let's say that you're here on a student visa. Let's say here that you're here on athletic training or something like that. You won't be able to leave unless you get the jab. So this is where it starts. I think it was the Ontario government that said in the last month or two that they're going to be rolling out a phone app, which is going to replace your driver's license, your health card, and other forms of ID. I also have a PAL, which is a possession and acquisition license for registered firearms and ammo. They're going to add that to a phone app, and they're going to be tracking you. Social credit scores are here, guys. They are already here. They've just quietly rolled them out bit by bit. They've used this crisis to say, well, we have to have VAX passports for something that basically 99% of people survive if they're, in reasonably good health. Not everybody's going to make it, but, such is life. But it's all about control. Never let a good crisis go to waste is what they always say, right? It's not about them loving you. I mean, let's put it this way. If the government actually gave a damn about your health right now, why is something like 65 to 75% of the North American population categorically fat, obese, morbidly obese, with basically a BMI index that's not healthy? That's going to lead to, already contributing to, cardiovascular disease, respiratory disease, kidney disease, all the sorts of stuff that comes with that. Why are they not forcing you to have a BMI of under 20%, let's say, like a healthier BMI? They're not. They're more interested in colluding with big pharma and pin, jab, take this booster, boom, right? I mean, listen, I would be completely fine with that. And there's certain, components of social credit I think that could be good for society, right? It would probably, if you rolled it out properly, minimize crime. There's certain things that would improve. It'd probably improve driving. There's a whole bunch of components that it would likely improve the fabric of society. But the problem is how do you distinguish what improves and what infringes on your rights and your freedoms and limits your ability to maneuver, right? So, it's a delicate question. And I think that if you're going to err on either side of the equation, you need to err on more freedom. You need to err on mental point of origin and putting yourself first, right? Not, bending over backwards and doing everything they tell you to just because they said it's good to do. Anyway, that's what's happening in Canada by October 30th. So again, we've got the elites, the sheep, the broken sheep, and then there's going to be the black market. The black market for stuff like this is going to be like, oh, well, you've exceeded your CO2 emissions for the month or whatever because of whatever you eat or the kind of car you drive and the sort of consumption that it gets. And then you're going to have to go to the black market. Maybe there's going to be a hunter in Northern Ontario that's going to sell moose meat for $200 a pound. I don't know. I mean, but there's going to be an adverse reaction to all of this. All I'm saying here with this, guys, is it's coming. It's already here. And here's what else is going to come. How did sheep herders from the Bible knew that 2,000 years later they would be able to control who buys and sells depending on if they comply? Fair question. What else we got here? I did a series on my Unplugged Alpha show in the last month on the decline of the West. You should go watch it if you haven't seen it. It's just go to my YouTube channel and search the Unplugged Alpha and enjoy the decline or decline of the West. There's 2 videos that I did back to back. Saving the West, what happens when you have no place left to retreat to and get away from bad policies. So Coach Red Pill said something about just leave the West. He said go to, what did he say in that video? Go to basically shithole countries, where infrastructure and government doesn't have the authority to control you the way that the larger governments do. And I think he's wrong about that because it's usually the more corrupt third world, second world sort of countries that maybe some of them don't have the infrastructure, maybe, but I think, for the most part, if anyone's going to be more likely to do like a full-on lockdown and full-on control mechanism, it's going to be some of those ones first. I think that the US will probably be one of the last ones. Canada will definitely go down before the US. If you see Canada go down, Americans, hey, it's coming your way. Some of the things that you could do to sort of prepare for that and minimize, I would say, is move to a red state. form an inner circle, a tribe, have some sort of contingency plan. And you might think, oh, you're crazy, Rich. That's tinfoil hat stuff. Okay. That's what you think. That's what you think. But just understand, it's already here. I've already shown you proof. I mean, Elon Musk is basically only giving you access to a full self-driving upgrade that you paid for if they deem that your driving skills warrant it, which makes no sense whatsoever. So why would my driving skills matter if the car's going to drive for me? I'm basically being chauffeured around in the backseat of my car. They probably don't let you sit in the backseat for safety reasons, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's already here. Chris says they want us out of shape, obedient, and frankly dumbed down to be a consumer of their agenda. Yeah. And like, you know, I'm going to get hate. I always get hate for this sort of stuff. Just think about it, guys. You know, use your freaking brain. Use the meatball between your ears and your eyes and just marinate on it a little bit, because this is something that's going down, and it's not new, guys. It's been going down for a while. It's been going down for a while. The solution, if you want to solve this, is vote for freedom. Vote for a political party. Vote for a state, if you will, that values freedom and independence. You vote for control. When I say you, I'm saying the vast majority of the population, because the last election we had here last month, Canadians voted again for Justin Trudeau. I think he's had 3 terms now, if I'm not mistaken. As a minority government, with the Conservatives, I think, is the official opposition. But the Conservatives in Canada are no longer Conservatives. They're more like liberal light. Okay, that's what they are. So that's what they're voting for. They're voting for control. Yes, massa. I'll take the jab. Give me it. I like it. Bah. That's what they're doing. They're lining up, and they're shaming you if you don't go and do what they do. But what they don't understand is that this is going to come back to bite them in the ass. It will, because when their social credits exceed their limit for things like soy products, abortions, purple hair dye, all that, you know, protesting with signs, and they can't leave their house because there's a smart lock on their house for a certain period of time. Just think about it. So good point. Instagram already has a social credit score. They only show your content to people based on interactions and complaints and reports on your content by other people and what their algorithms do. It's not just Instagram. It's the same thing with YouTube and Twitter and all that sort of stuff. I've seen videos, and I always look at both sides of the argument. Okay, like I've seen videos that are saying, like I was listening to a podcast the other day where this doctor was arguing for taking the mRNA vaccine, right? And then I saw another doctor that was not arguing against, but what he said basically was, I track the blood labs of my patient before the first jab, after the first jab, before the second jab, and after the second jab. And this is what I found, and it was startling as hell. And I went back the other day to go dig up that video, forward it to somebody. It was gone. It was not on the channel anymore. I don't know if he deleted it or if they took it down or what happened, but it was gone. And dude was super careful about the language that he used in that video when he was purporting all the data that he collected, which to me looked legit. So why is the pro mRNA guy still up with his video or his podcast, but the guy that's like, hey, you know, you might want to consider these facts, is gone? I don't know. I don't know, man. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck, right? That's what I'm saying. Do you think the VAX mandate for international flight will pass? 3 weeks to leave Canada is very fast. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I mean, if you're visiting here, and that rolls out for October 30th, I'd get the hell out. If you have residency somewhere else, I would. There's, again, you know, we've got the elites, the sheep, the broken sheep, and then we've got the black market. The black market's going to solve problems for people too. There's going to be a growing black market for stuff like this, but yeah. So the point is, will it? What? They said that income tax was temporary decades ago. Some of you guys don't remember that. I wasn't even born then, but when they said income tax, hey, we got to roll this out because we got to pay off the debt and blah, 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 and pay for a bunch of stupid shit that we've done, people were just like, yeah, okay, it's temporary, fine, sure. Did income tax ever go away? Nope. They don't take from you and then give back. Okay, let's just put it that way. I mean, historically speaking, you pay attention to how society works, and especially the state. If they take something away from you that benefits them, control, growth, large size, big taxes, da da da, they don't give it back. There's always an opposition party that says, oh, you know, I think that one of the platforms that the conservatives ran on here was something along the lines of, we're going to give you a tax-free month, like December will be your tax-free month for sales tax, right? Even that wasn't enough to convince people to vote for that government. It's not enough. So yeah, I mean, what's the solution? Well, you can definitely move somewhere that's going to treat you better. That's something I've been talking about for a while. The other thing that you should consider doing is forming a inner tribe, a council, you know, whatever it is you want to call it. You can draw a perimeter around you, have each other's back. Problem is it's very hard to do in today's world. And I got to just put these up for a sec. The sun's coming out. It's going to get bright as hell in here. And, you know, it's very, very difficult to find top shelf people that are on the same page that you can really rely on and trust, because a lot of guys are weak today, or they're untrustworthy, you know, if you know what I'm saying. So take a look around you. I'm grateful that I have a couple of very tight top shelf communities that I'm going to think about starting to collab on some ideas to remedy this, you know, for my inner circle. But yeah, let's see what happens, man. I was going to mention income tax, give this 10 years to see what the outcome of those who took the bribe to put the faith in science is. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm still in the undecided camp with the whole jab thing. I don't know, you know. I know a lot of people that have gotten sick in the last couple of years. I don't know too many people that have died. It's, you know, it's sad when they go, but F me, man. F me. We live in some strange times, and people are not doing anything. I'm not saying, you know, nobody, but most people are not doing anything, you know, to push back on this. I mean, like, even if I look down here in the comments for this Trudeau thing, layers upon layers of protection, strong measures, but the majority of Canadians want to get on with their lives. Vaccines are the only realistic way to get there. No pain, no gain, as the saying goes, right? Just add that in the stream. This is how people think, right? Just go along to get along. Go along to get along. Go along to get along. It's not that bad. Blah, blah, blah. Right? Where does natural immunity stand in all this? Oh, my bad. I'm not allowed to ask that question. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up on that note. I want to thank you guys for watching today. Leave some comments below and hit the like button. I'm doing a live on Monday on the Unplugged Alpha series. Live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss them. And if you haven't checked it out, where's my ticker? My ticker. Boom, boom, boom. There it is, down below. Okay. You can grab my supplement line. It's just over my shoulder on the shelf there. It's a little bit blurred because of the new camera, but just go to the unpluggedalpha.com. Use Alpha 10 at checkout to get 10% off. Some of the best supplements you're going to come across. I did a cast on the Unplugged Alpha a few weeks ago, just kind of breaking down all the supplements, and they're all categorized if you want to metabolize estrogen, boost testosterone, build muscle, burn fat. I have a new category being added in the next few weeks to deal with immune support with things like NAC, vitamin C, and a few other strong supplements that are good with that. I was actually told that NAC is not available in the United States, but my fulfillment center is in the United States and they're still shipping. So I don't know if it's limitations or rolling out. But that'll be coming soon. Anyway, see you guys later. Have an awesome day. Peace out.